The Westborough EDC June 3rd meeting to order. My name is Sandra Coker. I am the chair of the EDC. I want to welcome everyone to our June meeting. Woohoo, exciting. Hello to Pete Allen, who is one of our ambassadors. Thank you for coming in this morning. We have Danny here from Elanco. We'll talk with you a little bit later on. On the screen today, we have Raina Rago. She's a current president of the Westborough Rotary Club, and Scott Rayleigh and Eslam Elaban, EDC on virtual today. So welcome to everyone. Super excited for today's meeting. We've got a lot to cover. Laura and I had a really productive meeting last week at my office. We kind of went through the agenda, kind of what the year is going to look like. So I've got a presentation for you guys a little bit later on to talk about the structure. It was very helpful for me, this being now going into my second year of chair, kind of getting my feet wet and really understanding what the year looks like. It was very helpful, and hopefully we can come to some decisions today on how we want to run the EDC to be to give our volunteer time some more meaning. So I'm really excited about that. So thank you for your time and the work that you put in there very much. All right, so first order of business today is to approve the May 6th meeting. I'm going to abstain because I was not here for that particular meeting. But could I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve
minutes. A second?
Second.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll do a roll call.
Lunardo, yes.
Gingras, yes.
Coker, abstain.
Bagden, yes.
Marshall, yes.
Henderson, abstain. Wasn't here. For the minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Really, yes.
Eslam?
Elaban, yes.
You
Abstained.
abstain. You were here. Okay. And Kenny abstain. Okay. So the meetings have been approved for May. Awesome. All right. Our next item on the agenda is we want to bring up Daniel Marr, right? Is that Mayor. He is the general manager of Elanco. President now. I was reading it wrong. My fault, sorry. Service Corporation, they've been in Westborough for about over 21 years, so I'd love to have Danny come up and kind of talk a little bit about, why you would like to be on the board, and if the board has any questions for you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So I've lived in Westborough since 2003 and been at the same company ever since, progressed from sales guy up to president of the company. It's my family's business. So live, work, and play in town here. Elanco services all of New England. We're a commercial industrial heating and air conditioning company. So you'll see our trucks all over the place every day. So my role is just to kind of keep the ship going forward, pretty much. So love this town, love the location. And when I spoke with Lara, this opportunity sounded like something very interesting. So that's why I'm here.
Awesome.
So,
any questions?
No? I think you'd be a great addition. Excited to see you.
Yeah.
Good to see you guys.
So I think for us, it's just, we want to be a very active committee and an active, in the community, meeting with the businesses and kind of all the different activities that if you stick around today, then you hear kind of what the year is going to look like. And your next step would be to go in front of the select board
Sure.
to get approved to be on the committee. But you'll be taking over for Karen's place, so we'd be happy to welcome you to our board.
I look forward.
Awesome.
I've been a big advocate of this town for a long time, so
Great.
anything
All
I can
right.
do to move our town to a better place, glad to help.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Excellent. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Well, that was easy. It's like the Staples button.
Where are you?
You want to get me one? Awesome. All right. So great. Our next up, Raina, is Sherrod coming here? That was the last email that I got.
Looks like she just did.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to move to the planning department. We're going to go to Ginny's report while we wait for Sherrod. Sure. Go ahead. Yeah.
So really the only thing I have to talk about is for the downtown improvement project. We have our public meeting on June 11th at 6 p.m. In the Forbes Municipal Building in the Great Hall. And there we're just going to go over what the consensus was last year on the preferred concept, and then take any more comments, questions, things like that for the public. So it's really going to be another interactive meeting where we want to get more input on the concerns people have about the Rotary in downtown, where they can think of ideas for other pedestrian connections, and then just other concerns in general about traffic or whatnot. We have been advertising it, I think, in a significant way. We've done it on Facebook. We have yard signs out. We have the sandwich board signs out. I know some ambassadors have been going around along with town staff to different businesses downtown, talking to the business owners, which has been really good. I mean, at least for me, to hear from the different business owners and their take on it. I mean, they're the ones right there witnessing everyday happenings at the Rotary. One thing we also did was my staff and we went out and we took some videos of the Rotary, and it was just amazing the close misses that happened. So that was a really good exercise for us as well. But please spread the word. I'm sure you all are here, but just for the public, please share the word, and I hope that we have a really good turnout.
Yeah. So how were the first couple of meetings? How were they attended?
Last year, it was a pretty good turnout. I think we had about 75 to 100 people. So, I mean, for public outreach meetings, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Jenny, depending on, obviously this is a tough question, but what do they project? How many years in the future, depending on what they come to, kind of consensus?
10 years into the future.
Thanks.
Yeah. So what they'll do is they look at the land use, the projected land use, including what we're thinking about for zoning changes, and then any potential projects that we may hear are in the pipeline, like if a property is for sale, things like that. And then we just make I don't know if it's the best or worst case scenario, but the scenario that we think is the most likely it's going to happen, but then also considering like what is the densest or most population that we want to capture, because we don't want to have to redo this in 10 years necessarily, right? We want it to be a long-term thing.
Any other questions? Yep.
If I could, Sandy.
Of course.
Jenny, you said that you and others, maybe Laura, town staff have been going around and talking to the businesses downtown.
Yep.
Have they all been notified about the meeting? So I love that you're getting in there and talking to them. I think that's fantastic. But like, has at least a letter been delivered or a postcard been delivered to them?
Yep. So
Everybody?
we've been going around with postcards with the invite, and if they're not there, we just stick it in their box outside.
Okay.
But I think most people we've been able to talk to, and we have a checklist we've been going down of who we've talked to, and then if the manager or owner's not there, we get their information. So we'll be doing an email blast to just remind everybody.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
And then also, are you coming to Westborough TV on Friday to do a show about it?
Yes, I am. I'm still invited.
Shameless plug. Shameless plug.
Yes.
There was nothing shameless about that. It was just
Yeah.
Just a plug.
So I just have a short presentation that, we can talk about that time, but just to go over what to expect at the meeting, and then just what the steps are in this project and what the public can expect for this year, and then lightly touch on the future.
Well, it might be nice as once that's edited and ready to go out, if you could send that to the board members so we could post it on our various social media, to get to just a little wider reach.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea. And we're going to flip it right around because the meeting is next week. So as soon as you guys are done, we'll flip it around and get it out there so as many people as possible can see it. And I don't think you can over communicate this one enough.
Yeah.
Especially if there's going to be significant changes to the Rotary from a circle to a triangle, people are going to be.
Right.
What?
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, if you have any other ideas on how it can get out,
Softening those corners.
it's, we really want people to know about it because it is a big change. We've also put it out in the school's newsletters, so they've pushed it out there,
Yeah.
which was good. So we're hoping.
Yeah, I've seen it everywhere. I mean, all
Okay,
over the
good.
place. I've seen all sorts of things, so
Good.
that's good. But
Yeah.
sometimes people are not paying as much attention
Yeah.
as they wish they were. And so-
And one thing that, for future, public sessions as well, that we can consider that worked for this one is we pushed it out to HOAs, homeowners associations.
Oh.
So we have the contacts, excuse me, for most of them, for example, Del Webb, which is a big community. And I did hear from them that it was in their newsletter, people were paying attention, so I thought that was a good way to capture that.
Awesome. Yeah, good job. Well, hopefully we have more of a turnout, and it's exciting news. Thank you. Nothing else? That's plenty. I'm kidding. I was kidding. All right. So next up, we have the Rotary Club. Good morning, Christy. How are you? We have the Rotary Club coming to talk with us today about the economic impact of the efforts of the Rotary Club. So we have Sharad Mehta here and Raina Rago. Sharad is the incoming president for the Westborough Rotary Club, and Raina is the president currently until July 1st. And welcome, Sharad.
Thank you.
Come on in.
Good to be here. Are you going to put it on the screen or should I? I sent you the presentation.
I'm sorry, I did not see.
I can,
I got it, you send it to me?
I have it on my computer if you don't find it. But if you're connected, it's faster.
Well, I would just,
Q8.
And Sharad, when you
Yes.
speak, just make sure you speak into the microphone.
Microphone, yeah.
To the microphone,
Yeah.
yes.
I'll put it in presentation.
No, you just close that. And
Can you guys see that?
I think, yeah, that should be good enough.
Yeah, they don't see it, but.
Oh.
See it? All right. What else do I need to?
There, but for some reason that's just coming up.
Okay, so, but he has it up now, so it helps.
That front one's not working.
The front one's not okay.
Is this one not working?
This one's
Oh,
not.
that one's here.
But it should come up there.
Oh, it's because it's just a. How do you do the screen?
I'm having backlash to the presentation.
Just have to do the.
Oh, share it?
Yeah, because it's a PDF. It's not going to show on both screens. Just
Okay,
wait.
so here, do we share?
No, we can do duplicate, and I can share it to the. And then that should.
All right, thank you.
Aiden saves the day.
Yeah, thank you, Aiden. Very much appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yes.
Still not there on the screen, but
It's there.
It's
where
here,
they
yeah,
see it.
yeah.
you
we
can see it.
Yes, we
Okay,
can see it.
perfect.
Yes, thank you. Good
All
morning.
right.
You have to fly blind.
Yeah.
So my name is Sharad Mehta. I'm the incoming president of Westborough Rotary Club of Westborough, and this is Raina Rago. She's the current president, and we're happy to present this the community service work that we're doing at the as part of our regular. So. Just as a background, we are a chapter of Rotary International. Rotary International has 1.2 million members worldwide, or spread over 45,000 clubs, and we are one of those clubs. It has 7 areas of focus. It focuses on community service. It has 7 areas of focus: public health, education, water sanitation, community development, and environment. These are seven of the topics that are covered. And all of the projects that we do are within the scope of one of these focus areas. The Rotary Club of Westborough has been in existence for over 50 years, started by Mr. Nelson Ball. We have deep roots in the community going back many decades. We have partnerships with local and global organizations. Our members include many community leaders, many of some of them sitting here. And grants, we get grants from Rotary International and local donations that help us conduct these projects. We consider ourselves the go-to service organization in the community and would love to have your ideas in things and projects that you would like to see happen. So there's a number of projects that we do presently. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I'll give you a quick or small pitch on each one of the on as many projects as I can. So the first one is the farmers market. Most of you have probably been there. This is held in the summer months at the Bay State Commons. And one of the fun parts about this is that we give out what is called pop dollars. These are $5 given out to each elementary school child, and they can spend it on buying anything in the fair. And this is to teach them financial responsibility and how to manage their money responsibly. We have dozens of vendors, music, fun, games. So it's a fun time to be out in the summer. Next is the winter lights. Anyone who's been to the Rotary and in the winter time, you can't miss it. It's a beautiful lighting. I would say one of the best in all of our neighboring towns. And it's also a fun time for families and children to come out and take pictures with Santa and have a hot chocolate. And it's a great place for sponsors to also get some visibility. Small businesses would get it's a great place to encourage small businesses to show their capabilities. The next thing is our Westborough Environmental Action Fair. We conduct this in the month of March every year. This is in collaboration with Sustainable Westborough. And in this, we encourage we work with students and children, parents and teachers. Along with small businesses, small and large businesses. And the students present their research paper or posters on many of the environmental topics. And the businesses have tables at the fair where they can display the goods and services that they offer in relation to the environmental topics. It's also a great opportunity for students to volunteer and also for small businesses to present their capabilities. The next we have is the EV show, the Get Charged Up Regional EV show. This is held at the Amazon parking lot in the fall of each year. And here we encourage local EV owners to bring their electric vehicles to the parking lot and talk to visitors and community members about electric vehicles and share their experiences. And this is a chance for people to get informal information about electric vehicles. This is again a great place for small businesses to present themselves to the community. The next we have is Trex Film Plastics Collection. We collect flexible film plastics from the community. And the idea here is that film plastic it's very difficult to make a business case out of collecting and recycling film plastic because of the large volume and small mass. So we offer this as a community service. We collect the plastic from the community and send it to Trex, the company, and the company uses it for making park benches and deck floors and things of that nature. We get, for every 1,000 pounds we collect, we get a park bench, which is rewarded to us by the company, and we have placed 6 of them around town, including High School, Mill Pond, and Fales. and also one on Main Street near the Westborough Dental. Give me 1 second, please. All right, so then we have youth scholarships. Every year we offer 5 students scholarships for $2,000 each. The scholarships are merit-based, and their selection is based upon applications and personal interviews. Then we have the program called Unsung Heroes. This was started by Reina this year. This is to give recognition to youths and adults in our community who have done tremendous social work, but often go unrecognized. And so we have the nominations come from the community, and we have a ceremony where the awards are presented by local leaders, legislators, and such. And speeches are given to recognize the work of all the great community service that's done. Next, we have the Rotary Youth Leadership Academy. This is a camp that's run in the summer at Fitchburg State. Over 200 students are gathered there, are selectively given this training, and we send 10 of our best to this camp every year, and it's fully paid by Rotary Club. Then we have the flag planting day and day of service. If you've gone around recently in the Memorial Day around the Rotary, there were flags all around, and our volunteers put up the flags and in memory of the veterans. And this is a repair cafe. We do this twice a year. Our volunteers go to sit at the library for 3 hours, and they provide free service of repairing small household appliances free of charge. And then we have some international projects. We have projects that we participate in Guatemala. Our volunteers went to sow seeds to grow a mangrove forest, which would be an ecosystem that would tremendously help the local economy. And we also work with the UMass School of Medicine to provide medical equipment in Guatemala, Nicaragua, Guyana, and Honduras. So there's a longer list that we won't have the time to go through, but if we would really like to, we're always looking for volunteers and for small businesses to come in and participate and join us in running the projects that we have, and also starting new projects that they have their own ideas for. So we're always looking to cooperate and collaborate with the companies. That's all I had.
Thank you very much. I'm biased, but I love the Rotary Club. So any questions for Sharad?
Just one comment is if the Rotary Club reaches out to me, because I'm very big on supporting the community and the environment, please reach out more than once, because I get about 450 emails a day from both of my plans. So it's not that I'm ignoring you. I promise you I'm not ignoring you. My cell phone is probably the best way, and then I don't ignore that. I'll get 450 emails a day, and I'll get about 200 calls a day. So you may have to remind me, but we're definitely, in a place willing to help the community in any way we can. And so please reach out.
We would like to meet you in person, if possible. To give you
I know
yes, we'd like to talk to you.
That's the goal. So
Thank
I'll see what I can work out. I have promises, this week. And I may try to push my trip out, but I do appreciate the community. I love the community. Fred Leonardo, I can't say enough good things about him because he's been truly amazing, and he's learned me a lot. And, you know, I've enjoyed everything that's happened with the EDC. And again, I'm all about community involvement, community support. I know Enterprise is all about that. I've never been once questioned about that. So we want to make sure that we support our community and show that we are part of the community. So just please, if you send an email and I don't respond, please resend the email. Because again, I get about 450 a day. If I walk on the floor for an hour, then I get 100 emails when I come back. So,
Thanks.
So please.
That's great.
Sure.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you. I think, you know, being part of the Rotary Club, Shelby can kind of also attest to this. The farmers market brings people from out of town into town. So, you know, we think about the economic impact of the club. It's a far-reaching impact.
Yes.
You know,
We
did you have a
also
question?
collaborate with neighboring towns.
Yeah.
With Hopkinton, we do the EV fair. With Northborough, we do the treks. With Shrewsbury also.
Correct. Yeah.
So we have very good collaborative
Karen, did you have-
relations with these towns.
Right, yeah, if I could, I just love the business to community relationships that you guys have built. I think, sorry, do that. So I'm very thankful to the Rotary for doing that. I mean, if you look at, you mentioned all those different activities, there's so many that involve bringing those businesses out to support the community. So, you know, I think about film plastics, you know, whether it's the Y or Central One who helps us collect those, or the various businesses you get to come to the farmers market, or Amazon, you know, letting you use their parking lot for your EV fair. I mean, there's just so many good relationships that you've built, and such an important thing for all of us. That's why we're here, and what we're trying to do is build those relationships. So,
And I have to mention the students because we count on them a lot for many of these.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and we love that. Let's get those kids trained right now in how to give back.
Yeah.
I mean, really and truly, and understand that. So, so I'm appreciative of you guys, but also just really appreciative of the businesses that have stepped up to help. So I think that you're staying in contact with Laura is probably a great idea, just in terms of you having relationships that we might not have with people. So when we do need to reach out, kind of collaborating with
Yes.
Rotary on those.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Definitely.
And the Winter Lights is fully funded by the donations from the local businesses. So that's
Great example.
that's a 100% fundraised event. Yep.
Speaking of the winter lights, I would say that this committee and myself do outreach to businesses. It's almost in parallel. It would be, I think, a greater benefit if we worked more together.
Yes,
You know,
I agree.
Okay.
I couldn't agree more.
Yep. Go ahead.
So feedback received on that, Laura. I think that there's a specific committee for Winter Lights. I'm part of that, so I can bring that back to the chair of that committee about that interest in, you know, meeting early to plan early. And I think that one of the huge benefits is when we can engage businesses to volunteer their time. Sometimes they just can't give money, right? It's just not an option. But I think this presentation shows there are so many ways in which a business can give of their time. And when businesses can engage their employees to be part of something more meaningful, it roots those employees into the company's culture, and it also roots them further into the community.
Yeah.
So, so I know the Rotary is always looking for volunteers.
Yes.
That's stated here, kind
Yes.
of that everything is sustained by volunteers. But it may be as simple as helping on one day, one event, or saying, you know, we can bring a couple people, you know, 2 volunteers every Thursday during the farmers market. I know that our market manager would appreciate that. So
Yes.
thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Anyone else have any questions, comments? No? Thank you for all the hard work you do, Raina.
you.
Thank you for being an awesome president this year.
Thanks, Raina.
And Sherrod, good luck with your presidency.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
so much.
Okay,
All right.
thank you.
Have a wonderful day. Laura, I will let you get situated.
okay, actually, if I can,
So you're only going to be able to share it here.
I'm going to give my presentation.
Yeah. Bye, Danny.
Thank you. Okay, I don't know, can you guys see?
Yep, we can, yeah, but you're on slides, you're on
Oh, okay, yeah.
presentation mode.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank you.
So I hardly ever do this, but since,
You're good. Yep. We can see you.
okay.
All right.
So since we're here, I'll just show you in picture so I prepare this report each month, but I generally just do it from there.
Well, this is nice.
So the first thing I'd like to report on is the branding and wayfinding project, just to give you further updates. We have gotten to the point, so last month, Select Board sort of chose the final scene. So that's what we're calling the winter sleigh scene. Maybe not winter, because, yeah, I guess because of the sleigh. So, but it's a winter scene that holds, it has the town hall, it has the arcade building in it, it's got the sleigh for the manufacturing history, and it also has a tree, which for the environmental and that represents sort of the natural side of Westborough. So I'm really pleased with it, but I just wanted to let everyone know that that's sort of the final. Ranger Red, which is I think the color in the high school, is the chosen colors. And then I just want, okay, so you can't see all that much, but there's like a family of signs. We'll end up with a master plan that will showcase sort of where these signs could go. And then the next piece to this would be the design, fabrication, and installation. So all of this is part of the Select Board still has to do any final revisions, review, and acceptance of this. But I just wanted you guys to kind of just see pictorial where we're at. The internal team is working on sort of a final to get to the Select Board, and we'll be requesting a meeting in front of the Select Board June, maybe early July. I don't know exactly when. Just we want to make sure it's right. And in the meantime, I'm also working on the RFP for the design, fabrication, and installation.
Laura, just so you know, so the select board's meeting dates in July and August are the 22nd of July and the 12th of August.
Perfect, thank you. So maybe we'll try for June. We'll see. Okay, so what have I been up to? I have been actually working very closely with the building department on helping businesses through the building permit process, which is very educational. I've fielded, so I've done about probably 15 of these in the last month. I've also fielded a lot of conversations with local businesses and new businesses about expansion plans, or just, relocation here. Worked with 2 property owners to submit separate Massachusetts Economic Development grants. So both of those have been submitted separately. I worked with Jenny and her team on this upcoming downtown improvement meeting. Are we calling it DIP? Downtown improvement?
I haven't thought about that. I don't know if I like it.
But that, so partly I've been walking, what I always refer eloquently to walking the streets. But me, working with businesses, it's what I really love is walking around and going in and saying hello. I'm worked with sustainability and National Grid on the business outreach for energy efficiency implementation. That'll get done. That'll get implemented, or they're going to hit the streets this month. I went to the town. I represented the town at an Asabat Vocational School job fair. So that was their first job fair that they had. And I talked a little bit about municipal jobs. And then I attended 3 Corridor 9 events and State House events for the 495 partnership. So,
Laura, can you talk a little bit about the National Grid, what that is?
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know
So I
much
mentioned,
about that.
yeah, you were here last. So it's They're going to fan out throughout Westborough. They've sent out flyers as well. If you're the National Grid or sent out a flyer in the electric bill talking about this. So they're going to fan out, talk to all the businesses about ways that they can implement energy efficiency measures into their operations. If they own the property, maybe work with the property owner, or what they can do on their own throughout their own, squares. The idea is really, again, working with sustainability, getting more energy efficiency and energy savings into the pockets of businesses.
Thank you.
Do you have a time frame on that? When
So they sent everything out, I believe it was the last week or the last 2 weeks in May. And then I don't remember exactly when. There's a couple of weeks where their contractor is going to be out meeting with businesses. They're literally going to just walk in and out. And I have a list. If you have anyone else, I have a growing list of businesses that have said to me, we definitely want them to come visit me.
Is that something we would want to put on the, I don't know how many businesses would see it, but on the downtown board by the senior center, the digital board, to say, businesses, if you're interested, in saving energy or something like that, to just, reach out to
I could talk to Ben Bowers about that, how we've communicated that out.
I just always worry about, I know they're going to show their badge, but, and this is business focused.
It has our seal on it as well, the letter.
Yeah, I just, people are like, no thanks.
Yeah.
Like,
Right,
you're a
right.
solicitor,
What are you
I'm
selling
not
us?
interested.
Yeah.
So I think to the extent that we could support that in a more official way.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Good idea. Thank you.
Okay, so on to my next. We've been awarded, is this correct? Is that the correct language? Offered, excuse me. We've been offered, and again, this will go to the select board, but I just wanted to introduce it here. We've been offered $50,000 from the Civic Club to build what we're calling a pocket park. It's been suggested that we do it next to Town Hall, in that area between Town Hall and the Coop. And the Civic Club even had some renderings made. So I don't know if you can see one option. That one's much more open, but some benches on the side, some planters, pretty easy installation. And then this particular option has enough open space so we can also have some sort of games, which I think would also enhance it. But I think it's really a lovely gift or offer, and we will be talking to the select board about it. But I just wanted to let the EDC know also, because I'm working with as the sort of the town conduit
Liaison.
Yeah, so I just wanted to let you guys know about that. More details to follow. And then finally,
One sec,
Can I
Laura.
just ask a question on that? So I understand the Civic Club, this is part of their 50th anniversary or 75th?
sure, come on up. Pete's here.
So the Civic Club has made me the point person for this offer to the town of the fitting out of the pocket park. For some time now, we've been considering the fact that the 50th anniversary, this is the year, and we thank the EDC for the recognition at your annual breakfast. But we have been contemplating various things where the Civic Club might honor our 50th year and honor the Westborough taxpayers by making a significant gift. And we didn't even know whether we'd come up with anything that we thought would be worthwhile. As you know, the sale of Christmas trees between Thanksgiving and Christmas every year, we pay over $100,000 for the trees and the wreaths, and we end up giving back to very worthwhile local organizations about $40,000 every year. But we have accumulated $50,000 for the purpose of, if we found something, and we saw the excitement of the select board on April 8th
when finally they could take ownership of that alley next door. So we did do a vote on May 20th that if the town wants to do a pocket park there with renderings such as this, we happen to have somebody whose son, the son of a member, is an architectural designer, and so he put together some of these renderings. So the Civic Club would be honored to give a $50,000 gift to the taxpayers of Westborough if this is something that turns out to be something that the town would like. That's pretty much it.
Wow.
Wow.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And just, go ahead. I just was going to say, just quickly, this is something that we've talked a lot about at the cultural council meetings, about somehow making use of that space, and we didn't have the funds, so this is wonderful. And there's a lot of potential for different things there.
Yeah, I think just from an economic development standpoint, any way that we can draw people into downtown, create just, part of, Westborough Connects was here a couple of months ago, right? Find those ways to connect the community is important. And that was one of the reasons why I thought this was such a lovely opportunity.
What is, just kind of looking to Christy on this one, what is the process for the town accepting those funds, and then whose approval, and, does this have to go through planning, et cetera?
So I'm just finding out about it right now.
Okay.
So I'm not sure exactly what the process will be, but the board would be the body that would accept any gift.
Okay. Select board.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, we just assumed that we would be also, just like similar to the branding and wayfinding, that this would be presented to the select board. But I just wanted you guys to know that this was something that I was working on, and it was.
No, it's very exciting. I mean, but it sounds like because it is in downtown, it's a historical part of the community. I don't know what other.
It definitely reaches beyond economic development.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, great. Well, thank you to the Civic Club. Very exciting, and hopefully we can make it a reality. That's great.
It is great. So hold that money. Don't give it to anybody else.
And then just some new businesses announcements. Laureen Dance Studio, which was at Bay State, has moved to Milk Street 164. GA Remodel has moved into 14 South Street on the ground floor. And then there's a new Ustang Education company, very small company that's moving upstairs. AQ Spa is opening up. Where are we? Right this way. Across the street. Square Robot, awesome place. 20,000 square foot, 220 jobs or so operating in, at 40 Washington Street. They build robots. So there's another one for you, Fred. Better Life Partners at Work. So Work Central is like a office rental.
Co-working shared office space.
Yes. So Better Life Partners moved in there. Yay, Taco Barro just announced that they're opening a cafe at Release Spa on Turnpike.
Yeah.
And Hyundai dealership at 180 Turnpike applied for a building permit. And that'll be $14 million project. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. And Laura, I actually like when you do the presentations up there.
Yeah.
Just saying. Awesome. Any questions for Laura? Comments? Everybody's good? Well, we're just rolling away today, guys.
Yeah, let me just add, if I could, on new businesses, last month I was asked about the Big Y. I've talked to Bill Heslett, the building commissioner. He's anticipating the end of this month that they should be looking for opening. It may be kind of a soft opening thing as opposed to a grand opening originally. But that's where we stand with that. And not that it's directly related to economic development, but Monday, June 9th, the Community Preservation Committee is having a public meeting in the Forbes building at 5 o'clock. If people would like to attend that, they're going to review their plan and their application to get general comments from the public.
Community Preservation Committee.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The Community Preservation Committee is part of the tax dollars from Westborough residents with partial matching funds from the state. They can use it for open space, affordability, historical. I might be missing something, but there's specific projects,
yep.
recreation,
Yep.
thank you.
Yep.
There's specific projects that money can be allocated. They've had a pool of money starting to collect, but they haven't finalized the application and the frameworks, if you will. So that's that meeting. They've presented to the select board last week-ish.
Yep.
So now it's to get any general comments from the public so we can finalize that plan and get that whole thing moving.
And any funds that are expended have to be accepted through their grant process, which is defined by their plan, and then ultimately is presented at town meeting by project for a town meeting vote and approval.
Okay. Great, thank you. Thank you, Fred. Christy, it's good to see you. I feel like I haven't seen you in forever.
Was it the last meeting?
I wasn't here. I haven't seen you in forever. It's just me. So I just passed out. So Laura and I met on Friday last week. Was it whatever day it was last week? And we just kind of were brainstorming, and she kind of helped me clarify kind of how the committee, should be run. Now, like I said in the beginning, my opening remark this morning was, now that I've had the full year behind me, just kind of now, what does it really look like moving forward? And so I just put this together obviously with the help of Laura, and just kind of did some tweaking. But, my goal is to really provide a little bit more clarity and purpose for our board, so that we can really feel good about the volunteer time that we're doing here. So, we want to, foster the collaborations, like with the Rotary Club, with the ambassadors, with the Civic Club, all the different Westborough Connects. And, in looking at the EDC awards this year, it went really well. We had a great turnout, but we were doing it kind of at the, trying to figure it out, right? So I wanted to see if we could put something together where we kind of plan out the year, and think about things ahead of time so that we're ready to go. And also help coordinate the business visits. I think one of the things I've heard from this committee is that, we want to be part of those business visits along with Laura when she goes out to some of those business meetings, especially to the larger companies as well. So that's something that we want to do. So I just put together a couple of suggestions. Laura had put some suggestions in there. I added a couple of things. And so I want to take a look at this proposal, the committee proposal, and see if we can get, these are only suggestions. So if you think we need something else, let me know, obviously. But the EDC awards planning, that could kind of be a throughout the year kind of thing, 2 to 3 people, guide the group on the awards, and then 2 to 3 on the event planning. So, kind of taking a look and saying, who wants to guide on the awards, what awards do we want to give? So figuring that out early on and having the committee, participate in that. So coming and saying, hey, we think these are the awards that we should give out, and then having the committee have a full vote on it and who we should be, giving the awards to. So really thinking about that throughout the year. And then on the event planning, starting that a little bit earlier, and picking the date. One of the other things that you'll see later on is that, prior to the last couple of years, we've always had the EDC awards in January, February, always earlier in the year. And, I think it would be a good time to kind of reset that. April gets a little late. We get a little bit, graduation and all the other things that kind of happen in the spring. So if we could kind of dial that back to the February timeframe, I think that would be, that's just my suggestion for this coming year. We want to also collaborate with the ambassadors, having someone, an EDC board member, to collaborate with the ambassadors, along with, obviously working with Laura, just to create that team, that cohesive team. Where are we going? Laura and I have, we've segmented out the town for the ambassadors. So, they each have a region of town that they're visiting the businesses versus, it's ad hoc, go wherever. So we've gotten that structure in place, but we'd love to have a board member be involved with the ambassadors to kind of help to drive that, and so that we all know what's kind of going on there. And then the business visits, new and existing. So I was thinking on this one here, we may want to rotate that. So maybe every quarter we've got different people that go out with Laura to the different businesses so that everybody gets exposure, to the businesses, and the businesses get to know everybody who's on the committee and who we are. So that was something we were thinking about. And then having different liaison to Westborough Connects, liaison, or in the other civic clubs. So someone that's just kind of like touching base with the volunteer organizations in town. What are you doing? What's happening? How can we help promote that? And how can we help our businesses, promote themselves in those different areas? Liaison for business assistance grants, that's in conjunction with Laura and with the ambassador committee. Marketing in the town. So really, Laura's not a marketer. She says that every day to me. Every time I talk to her, I'm not a marketer. So maybe if we've got someone that's able to kind of help out with that would be good. Measuring results, Eslam had presented, last month, I was not here, but on, measuring kind of how we're doing overall, what our engagement is. Just having a spokesperson, which probably will be the chair or the vice chair, I would think, for this committee. And then a staff liaison, someone to, I talk with Laura every time, so I think that would probably be the chair as well. So taking a look, and I know I just blew through that because I talk really fast. But taking a look at that, what do you all think about that? And, is that something that we could get some buy-in on as far as, forming these little subcommittees and, really just making our work more meaningful. And then everyone has a role. So, thoughts?
I think that would be great. I mean, yeah, to actually have things assigned where we have little divisions of labor, I think that's terrific. I think that's what we've been needing.
Yeah. And obviously to bring our ambassadors into these little, so it's not just going to be us having the committee. So maybe it's 1 or 2 EDC people and then 1 or 2 ambassadors, right? To also, because we're all doing this as volunteers, and we all have so much time. I get that. Just kidding. Dave, I wanted to get you to laugh there. Thank you. But I'd like you to take a look at that, and next month, just kind of think about what roles you might like to, where you would like to fall in this. Karen?
So if I could, a couple things.
Of course.
One is I really love the idea of getting people on this committee out to some of the businesses. And it just gives good perspective for us to have talked with people. So I know the ambassadors have done that, which is great, and I know Laura does that, but I really think for here or there, for everybody to commit to getting to 1 or 2 of those meetings and or events that are happening, right? So I just feel like whether it's going to ribbon cuttings that the town's part of and with Quarter 9, but getting out there and letting businesses know, like every opportunity I get, I tell people, I'm on the EDC and Westborough loves business and I'm so glad you're in town. I always try to make that a part of my spiel, and I think it's really important for the committee to get out there. So I love that. The other thing is, you're talking about the marketing piece. One thing I don't see us do that I think would be nice is, like, do we do press releases? So I think that I know looking for somebody to do some of that, but I think it would be good when there's a new business coming that, like, maybe the town releases a press release that says, we're so pleased to welcome so-and-so to town, which, maybe it's just nice for the business to be able to push that out. It's a little more formal way of saying, we're so glad you're here. This is great news. And then it, again, puts in people's minds, like, Westborough is a business-friendly place. So
I wonder who on this committee could do press releases.
So, and overall, I think this is a really great step toward a plan for the committee, and kind of, I love how you've laid it out. I
Laura
love
laid out
having
most
the
of it.
calendar, so that's great. You, the collective you. So I think that's an excellent way forward. And if I could just ask that during your awards discussions, if, I don't know if I can be there as an advisor or as from Westborough TV, just because it's good for us to know, things we might need to be getting footage of, or kind of what the plan is for that. So if you could just kind of keep us looped in, and that way we're not at the end kind of scrambling. You did great with it this year, but in terms of the Westborough TV connection, but helpful for us to know. So just want to stay in the loop on that. Thank you.
Absolutely. We'll discuss your ambassador role later on.
Good idea.
Thank you. Anyone else have any thoughts? Yeah, Sheldon?
Yeah, so thank you for pulling this together. I love the idea of having kind of assignments by month or by region. Again, I'm new to this year. I've been on the Economic Development Committee years ago, so I love the structure. I think that's helpful for everyone. I want to echo attending ribbon cuttings, I think is really important for members of this committee to do. So if we're sort of on point and plugged in, I don't know, I know those ribbon cuttings mainly are distributed. Does the EDC get copied on that? How does, okay. I mean, I know I get them
Everything
through.
from the chamber gets copied to the EDC.
They used to. I don't know if she's been continuing to do it. Laura, because you naturally get it, because the town's a member, but I don't know if the EDC committee, I gotta double check.
Well,
that.
it's fine if it comes through Laura, as long as it's
Yeah,
getting fed.
Laura gets invited to what, the town gets invited to everyone that we do.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I do think that would be important, and even if we sort of say, hey, you're on point this month, and if ribbon cutting comes up, like, the hope is that you're able to attend, and if you can't, find an ambassador or someone who can attend, so that way sort of we channel that in. I love that idea. In terms of marketing the town, I think that's sort of a general, like, I'm not sure what that really means, and we don't, I'm not suggesting we solve that today, but that's sort of, marketing the town could mean a number of different things. I mean, Karen, you just came up with just a very
Yeah, I think the
specific.
press release would be like.
Like a press
things like
release,
that,
that's
yeah.
one thing. There's a whole other aspect of marketing the town. So I think that probably needs to be a whole separate conversation. And I didn't see, and maybe I missed it here, I see a lot of focus on the awards event planning. I guess I don't see anything on the grant process. I see it in the calendar, but I don't know how we're handling that as a committee.
Yeah, so we'll talk a little bit about the grants and what we have for this year. 'Cause that's usually just that's when they approach, that's when we do that. So it's really informing the businesses that the grants are available to them. Eslam, I will send this over to you, and Scott, I'll send this over to you guys after the meeting today. My apologies for not sending that out via email.
Thank you.
Yes. Do you guys have anything you want to say? You've been very quiet, and I've ignored you.
No, thank you. It sounds like a great plan. It's very, I think my struggle was like, I don't know exactly what the committee expected from myself to do. And I think when we have a clear plan, like what you just mentioned right now, it's very helpful. It helped me, it helped everybody else to do what we exactly expected to do. So thank you for putting this together. I think it's gonna help a lot next year.
Awesome. Great. Thank you very much. We appreciate that very much. So I want you guys to just take a look at this over the next month or so. At our next meeting, we can certainly discuss who wants to go where and where your interest lies. And if we, like I said, we might want to rotate, around a little bit. So especially with the business meetings. So Laura, that's going to be incumbent upon you to, if you have a meeting with a business that, just shoot it out to who's ever on that and say, hey, I'm going out and doing this or whatever. So that way everybody kind of knows would be good. So we kind of put together a proposed calendar for the year. So in June, this one here, process any business assistant grants application. So we don't have any today. And so for FY26, we don't actually want any applications to come through, or we'll run out of money in early January. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. We do want the grants to come through, obviously, but we are, we've got to be pretty selective as to how much we're giving and what we're giving, because we've got, about half of what we have been allotted through next fiscal year.
So how much is that?
32,000, I believe we have. I'm sorry? Why is that?
We gave a lot in the first quarter.
We did,
Right.
yeah.
But it wasn't really the first quarter, so.
Well, right, so
Yeah.
I'm working with the finance director to kind of straighten the timing out so we can get a better timing on this, because we've always been kind of offset since we went to the March appropriation. So I have had conversation with the finance director, and we'll be looking to the town manager to figure out how we're gonna kind of redirect the money so we're more in line with the fiscal years.
Yeah. So it's kind of, this year's just kind of a reset year, it seems, and I think if we do a reset, Christy, you have something?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I think that that's one of the things that we've talked about many times is having a cap on what we're awarding quarterly. So I think that that's just something that we should continue to think about because I think that's sort of part of how we got here.
Right. Gotcha. Do you want to talk about the sign grant, the grants for the signs?
Well, we mentioned it before. I'm just going to say there's an opportunity to supplement the business assistance grant for those businesses that are looking for assistance on signage because we have a $20,000 grant that is a match grant for signage only. So there's opportunity to supplement some of what you might be asked to grant out in your business assistance. We may be able to slide that over to the signage grant this year because everything has to be spent. This is part of the wayfinding, branding and wayfinding pot of funds that were awarded to us. The way that the grant was written, $20,000 was put aside for businesses and signage, business signage, right? So my suggestion is that if business assistance grant, EDC business assistant grant somebody is looking for signage reimbursement, that we just move it over into that other pot that we have and save some of the other funds. I did not explain that very well. I'm so sorry.
So what it is part of an earmark. It was there was two different earmarks. One of them was for branding, one was for wayfinding. In the description of that, we also looked to appropriate $20,000 to supplement business signage. So instead of having the signage, that money appropriated through the EDC directly, we can do it through that earmark.
And is that, you mentioned a match, so it's a dollar for dollar on the business side, or this would offset? I don't know.
No, it's the match has to come from the business. So if they have a $5,000 sign, we could appropriate through that grant, through that earmark, $2,500.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it works actually similar, it works pretty similarly. It's just only for signage.
Right.
And the mechanism is not, it doesn't need to go through the committee.
And
Right.
so if it doesn't need to go through the committee, who does it? They come through community development?
Yeah, we haven't worked out the details. We did something similar to a supplemental to offset employment opportunities lost during, this is all it's kind of an outgrowth of COVID.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we did something similar where we had an application, we had a timeline, businesses could apply. We actually have until June of 26 to expend the total amount of money. So it's not 100% urgency, but we want to get the process in place.
Okay.
Most likely we'll have timelines that the committee certainly, and Larry can reach out to businesses for the applications once we've established that.
So this committee seems like the natural channel through which this would, once there's an actual framework in place for this, it would come through here, and then part of the ambassador as well as the plan of attack for us to be meeting with businesses. We could be talking about that as needed. And obviously we have new businesses coming through the permitting process. I mean, there are a number of different touch points. Okay.
Awesome. Any other questions,
Yeah,
comments?
can I ask a question about the grant process? Just just a couple things. One is, I noticed that while we have our link to the grant assistance application, we don't have anything on the page that says who's been awarded in the past and how much and the dates of which. I think it would be helpful to show that. Like, people want to see, like, hey, we've actually given money. And then I think as committee members, as a member, I would like to see, like, where are we in that cycle? So I know that it's a reset. There's been some issues. Again, I'm just coming into this new, but visually seeing kind of here's where we're at, here's what's been awarded, here's the cycle, I think would be helpful so that we're not having that discussion repeatedly.
Yeah. Last summer, I guess, was it? Sandy and I sat down and talked about some of that, and then also I had drafted up just a bunch of different suggestions for the website for including things like that. I don't think I ever sent it off because we were waiting to see who the EDC coordinator would be. So I'll send that to Sandy.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, I think that's a great.
And I think Chrissy's right. We need to be thinking about our limits and what we're going to be awarding. You know, especially with the remainder of this money for this year. All right, awesome.
So, Shelby, just for your for information, generally the applications came in to the office. They are collected for quarterly review. They are put together on the matrix.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And then Fred and John Steinberg review it first, just to make sure everything's in place and that it really meets guidelines. And then it comes to the committee. So that's sort of the internal process, that happens. And whereas I think when I came in, there wasn't a date that we reviewed quarterly. So we set sort of an arbitrary, I think it was the second month of the quarter. But I think the suggestion is to do the first month of the quarter start. And so our fiscal year, July 1st, that would be sort of the reset for that year. It was just confusing because we got the money in March. Nobody knew what quarter.
Yep.
You know, it was, so all of the records are confusing, and we're trying to streamline it, and it's happening little by little. But I think this year, for sure, we'll get it fully streamlined. But great suggestion. I can add a list of awardees to the website.
Shelby, anything else? No? Sure?
Yeah, not at this point.
Okay.
Thank you. Yep.
All right, so on the next page, July, I said the 12th, that's a Saturday, as my beautiful vice chair just pointed out. I'd like to motion to move the July
I'm sorry,
meeting.
Can I go back?
Sure.
I'm sorry. I was trying to pull up, so under the business assistance grant, this is just maybe more of a housekeeping item. So when I'm on the town's webpage under economic development and I click into financial incentives, I drill down into business assistance grant. At the very bottom, there's link to the application. That takes me to Permit Pro, essentially. And then once I'm in Permit Pro, I've got to scroll down to find business assistant grant under economic development. And when I click on that, and I'm sorry if I'm sounding critical, but if I'm a business owner, this is not intuitive. This speaks like town government, sorry, and I love town government. And then it says website details. We just need a few details, and it doesn't talk anything. It reads. It doesn't even talk about like this is a grant application, and so I'm not sure. It says at the beginning it's an application, but this looks like give us some information about yourself, and maybe we'll be in touch with you. It doesn't look like a business application. So I think that's something pretty fundamental we've got to take a look at.
That's right.
Okay.
When you click on the Permit Pro application, it doesn't open it up to the application?
Nope. It says registration for online permitting.
Oh, because you have to be a user. So generally, just so you know, generally I've already spoken to somebody about this. Permit Pro itself is confusing. I can't help that.
I love Permit Pro.
So you have to have an account to start Permit. You have to have an account to start any application. So I try to walk businesses through this though, and I can set up more of a checklist of directions. But this is this is the process for building permits, it's the process for planning, DRB, et cetera. It's the same process.
And I love the streamlined I understand why we're driving to that, and then there's the review that you just talked about. I'm just saying from an outward perspective, like, just because it's a good process for us, town, it doesn't mean it's a good process for businesses. And it doesn't read like a business-friendly process.
I would agree with that.
So maybe it's up front on the webpage saying, like, a checklist, or here's what you can expect. Or before you start the application, please reach out to the economic development coordinator so that person can explain what the process is. Like, just a little bit more, because if a business goes in here, they're gonna be like, oh, crap, I'm not applying for a permit and I'm leaving the site. Like, I feel like I found myself to the wrong place.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think, Shelby, to your point is that we can clarify that on the website, that really the first outreach is to the coordinator, Lara, to kind of walk them through the process. There's no intuition at all to get to Permit Pro. That doesn't make sense, actually. So we'll work on that to make that
we want
clearer.
to tap into that, right? That personal connection to the coordinator is like, that's obviously why you do what you do, right? To create that and channel them to the right place.
But the same token is, if anybody from the board is aware of somebody that wants to apply, not only send them to Lara, but that you can let them know that we do have the process online.
Yep.
So it still may be somewhat clunky, but it was completely clunky when we didn't have anything. That we did it all by paper. So, but yeah, we need to clarify the first step is to do the outreach.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
You, I think. Oh, okay.
Sorry.
No.
Thanks.
Oh, good. Thank you. Appreciate it. No, this is good. So I'm proposing to move the July meeting to the 15th. That's seeing as July 4th week after July 4th of July is on a Friday, and if we do the second week in July, I think it's a pretty big vacation week for people taking the Thursday through the following Saturday off. So I'm just proposing to move our meeting to July 15th if that works for people.
You're saying 15th, but it says the 12th.
I know. 12th is Saturday, it's the 15th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No. I went off memory, and clearly my memory wasn't working. So if you guys can take a look at your calendars.
That's all right. I just want to
Yeah.
clarify the
Thank you.
actual date. I didn't show up on the 12th.
All right. Do I have to do a motion for that?
No, I just,
Okay.
are you asking for
Yeah.
us to say yay or nay?
Yeah. Does that work for everybody?
I guess my only Christy, we have tentatively executive session on the calendar. Is that? That's just,
15th?
yeah, standing meeting.
It's just standing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
I'm yes.
Great. Okay.
Do we need?
No motion? No? Okay.
No, I mean, is everyone else good? I mean, I'm happy to appear by myself, but.
Scott and Eslam, how about you guys?
Unfortunately, I won't be available on the 15th.
Okay.
I would be available in the first week. That's okay, fine. But I still can join through Team if it works for everybody else.
Okay, perfect. Scott? Same? I see your head nodding. I can't hear you, but.
I think the idea is just to
Sorry about
get a
that.
quorum for the 15th.
Yes.
The 15th is fine by
Yeah.
me.
All right, that works. All right, so we'll do that. So that's what the, so we'll talk about that meeting, we'll talk about what the goals for the committee will be. We'll brainstorm, and whoever wants to, take which assignments, that would be great. And review the calendar and all that kind of stuff. So preliminarily, and then August, I was proposing no meeting in August. August can be a very heavy vacation month, and people getting ready for school and college and blah, 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 and all that good stuff. So I was proposing to not have a meeting in August. And
I can do that.
you can do that, yeah. So, everyone good with that? Yeah, okay, all right. All right, so, and then September, so you guys can just kind of read through this, and then we'll review this at our July meeting, but just talking about the different things that we can be discussing. Holiday stroll, Halloween in September, we have our Q1 grant review. October, finalize the date for the annual awards for that, and do quarterly reports for members, for our committee members. Holiday stroll, talk about that. December, again, do the business assistant grants, event planning, talk about what we need to be doing for the February, March time frame. So this is just kind of a rough overview of what the year will look like. So guys, if you want to just review all that, and then kind of in June, at our July meeting, to review and see what we need to add to those months. Any comments, questions?
September is another month to think about. The first is Labor Day.
Oh,
I know that's a weird weekend too.
Yep.
So the meeting would be, if it was the first Tuesday, it would be the 2nd.
can everybody do the 2nd? Well, does the first work for everybody, or 2nd,
This
September?
September 2nd works for me.
You guys are all good?
Second's fine for me.
Okay, all right, so we'll keep it at that date then. Okay. Thank you, Fred. All right, any discussions on this? Thank you, Laura, for helping to get this organized. I really appreciate it. It was good. And any new business from the committee?
Yes, I have an announcement. This is going to be my last meeting. Yeah, I'm up for renewal. I think my next term's coming up, and I've got a lot of changes possibly on the horizon for my business, and just a lot of different things. And I feel like I think it's been 4 years now, so I think it's time for some fresh blood anyway. So, yeah, I've enjoyed working with you all.
Okay. Thank you for, okay.
So just a question, there are some refresh we've got to do on the website on board members, I
Yep.
noticed. And it looks like there are several folks who are coming up June 30th. What is our process? And do we know if they're
Yeah.
renewing or not? Islam is on there. Karen, we know about.
Yeah.
Holly.
Islam, you're renewing, correct?
Yes, I would.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's handled through Sela, so she sends stuff out and reminds people to renew, or asks people if they're not interested in renewing. So I'm not sure that we have the information for this committee because it's handled through our office.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
Can we just recognize
Holly.
your wonderful vice chair for
Yeah.
the last 4 years of service to our community and to this committee. Well done.
You've been an amazing small business owner here.
And to Karen.
And
to Karen.
Yes.
I feel like you're around, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
The Holly.
Yeah.
I do have a couple comments if I can.
Yeah,
make
of
them.
course.
One is kind of on the heels of talking about the Civic Club and doing a potential donation to beautify downtown. I just want to recognize the Garden Club in town, who I believe is still responsible for all of the garden boxes downtown, which I just think is they're beautiful, and it really does a lot to help beautify that downtown, which is so important to our local businesses. So with thank you to them, and with a request that the local business notices that their flowers need any watering on some of these really hot days, having the Hendersons having been responsible for a number of years, the Henderson kids dragging around the watering container, but to go ahead out there and give them a little splash, because they stay beautiful, and it really makes a big difference downtown. So
does, yeah.
big nod to the Garden Club and all the people who you see out there helping with that. And then another thank you to a bunch of local businesses. I won't list them all, but we just recognized Mark's Movers, and I was there on Saturday morning at 7 a.m. loading that truck up that they donate for Project Graduation, and the 3 trips, and Rich was there from Mark's Movers, who I talked to at the EDC Awards breakfast, but just so nice of them to donate that, and so many businesses. I mean, the list goes on and on of businesses that support that event, and such a special night for those graduates. And you see way too many articles in the paper about tragedies going on, and the fact that this town has been keeping those kids safe with a special final send-off since 1991.
Wow.
I think is pretty amazing. I know a lot of towns have dropped that event, and I just am so proud that Westborough continues it, and it only happens because of people volunteering their time and businesses donating, whether it's services or finances to that. So so proud of our community business and the people within it. So I wanted to comment on that. Big thank you for Project Graduation.
That's awesome. Thank you. Yeah, it's huge. I mean, it's a huge community, effort, and thank you for your leadership in that regard as well.
One thing I put out there as an idea for the committee to consider at some point is there an opportunity to engage a student intern for this committee, whether it be during the year or specifically during the summer months? And I don't know what that might be for, but I know that the town is good. I know the town manager has an intern now, which sort of, as I learned about that, I thought, are there other opportunities, very project-based? Is there something that could be done? I'm not thinking paid, I'm thinking unpaid. I don't know what the rules are around that, and also maybe what I'm suggesting can't be done. But I think that there are, when I heard marketing, I thought,
Yeah.
how could someone like that help with a framework or a specific project?
Yeah, I was just going to say, so we're sort of piloting with a couple different internship opportunities this summer, but that's one of the goals of the select board is to create an internship program, and so that might be something that would be ready for the fall.
Okay, that's a great idea. Yeah.
But it's something that would come out of, be it sort of for the whole town, all the town departments.
Yeah, just if this committee was like a leading committee, was like, hey, we're interested to be an extension of that pilot, that might be something. So.
Great, thank you. Yeah. Anyone else, Dave? Anything?
No.
Scott, anything?
Okay.
Just that I would, if someone from Westborough TV could reach out to me, I'd appreciate it.
Great, Scott. I'll reach out.
Thank you.
I'll be email number 451. I apologize ahead of
Or
time.
you can call my number. I'm at the desk now, so.
Okay, great.
And then, really quick, I have to say, thanks to Fred Leonardo, from day one, when I came in 2018, he's been so supportive, and I've learned so much from him, so, thank you for that.
Thank you, Fred. That's great. Yeah. Eslam, do you have anything?
No, good.
Okay, great. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Second?
Seconded.
Second.
Aye. Leonardo, yes.
Jingris, yes.
Coker, yes?
Kenny, yes.
Bagden, yes.
Marshall, yes.
Henderson, yes.
Chapman, yes.
Williams, yes.
I love Ben, yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Okay, meeting adjourned. Thanks, everyone. See you guys.